Okay, guys, welcome. So we have been able to stop our simulation at frame 6. Okay, so let's get out from the body, and now let's think about our next simulation. All right, so to get our rigid body simulation for the next simulation to have the shake on the body, let's plan how we will go about it. Okay, because so far we already have an engine that is simulating what is going on. Okay, our first hybrid object simulation for the crash, this is the network that is handling it. Okay, so we're going to keep that around, but for our rigid body we need to set another dub network. Okay, so we have to create one, but let's go into the one we were working on because we want to talk to it. We want to call it out to the next geometry we're about to create. Okay, so let's call for right click and call for out node, connect, and we can name this something we will come in and look for. All right, say maybe m_body. Okay, so to call this object we've been working on, we will look for the m object. Let's bring the flag here. So this is the last node for that object. Remember, we ended with the time shift, so we get a new node to let us take it out. Okay, the out node. So we go back to the object level. Now we can call it. Okay, but there's a way to make things easy, but let me show you a scenario you can face that you probably don't know what's going on. So if we just create a geometry, because we need another one, right, and drop it. Okay, so let's name this one okay, m body same. This one is what? Rigid body. Okay, so we just created a geometry. If we go in, it's empty. All right, so how do we call this object we've been working on to come here so we can work on rigid body on it? You will use what? Object merge. But we are up to something. All right, so give me a little time here. So we're gonna call for it. And in the object merge node, you guys know what happened. We call stuff from outside. So what are we looking for? The crash node is what we are looking for. The m-body crash, the one we've been working on. We will go inside, drop down. It's a whole lot of other stuff in, but we are going to look for the one we just named, the out, right? So keep scrolling, and then it's out here. Accept it. So you have that in here. Now, the reason why we taking this route is if you go this route, it's supposed to have the same copy here. So if we turn this one off, where is our copy? It have to be the same position and everything. So the next simulation will continue from there. But we don't have it at the same place. Look at the properties of the new created object is where? At the origin. You create stuff, they go over there. They go to the origin. So it's basically mixing the position. Let's look at the old one we've been working on. Okay, look at the position. It have values to the translation and the scale. All right, so our new created one, look how it is. It's at the origin. So maybe if we tumble around, you can see it around. See, it's not at where it's supposed to. Look at where it's at, and look at how small, tiny, and different from this one. we want the new body to be just like this. So, this scenario can happen to you in any other situation. So make note of it. So how do we fix it? Okay, that means that we don't supposed to do it that way. We can copy all this stuff in here, which is a long way to, and do all kind of stuff. But let me show you another way we can do it. So let's delete this one. And on our crash node, the old body, let's hold Alt and make a copy of it. With the new copy, look, it have the same values. See, you cannot even tell that I click, just the name that shows. So we have a clean copy of it, but we don't need the stuff in our new copy. So let's delete everything. Okay, we want an empty geometry level. Go back and name this one. Instead of crash, let's name it rigid, because it gets longer. Okay, so we have the crash and we are working on the rigid body. So inside the rigid body, now we can call the merge again. Object merge. Drop it, zoom in, and go for the body. Let's bring the body in the middle so that we see what's going on with it. Okay, we're gonna call for the same object merge. Houdini, remember where you was at last time. So we will scroll down and grab object body out, right? And accept. So now we have a copy in here. If we go out to the object level, if we turn off the old body, the new one is there. See? So now the new one is being turned off and on. Very cool. So at this point, we can even put the old one aside. So the next thing we can think of is we have to have our own network for our rigid body. So if we look down here, the current selected is the auto network. So if we create one, we have to make sure that one is selected. So right click and then D for network and drop it down. Okay, so let's name our new we can double click it for it to be selected down here. Okay, so we have our rigid body as our new engine. Okay, very cool. So now we can go out and make sure you check some time to see if that is the one still in operation. Okay, so at the out level, if we select our new body for rigid body and we come to the rigid body shelf, what we're going to use for this simulation is the rigid body dynamic hero object. So we will select that and click on that one. Okay, so if we go into the new body, we see we have rigid body import coming in, and it is responding to the network of the rigid body, the one we just created. Very cool. So that is what we want. And then if we go back and we go in, we have the rigid body simulation in here. But we are missing few things because we are creating our own network. We need what? We need a rigid body, which is G-force, gravity. Put it in. Okay. So what happened is stuff are coming in just like our old up network. But what do we need? Who can tell me? We are mixing our interaction objects, right? The ground planes. Do we have to create another ones? Maybe not. We can go into the old one and copy these ones up to the static server. So Control C, go back inside our new network, Control V. Now what? We connect it to the merge. Make sure it's deselected and grab the bottom and drop it. Okay. Very cool. So now we have a similar setup handling our dynamics. Okay. So our rigid body object is coming in. In here, what we're going to do for the initial state, let's zoom out and see what's going on. See, we still have the same position for the ground plane and the grid. So we're going to move it forward the same. So let's give it velocity, 7, because we want it to go about the same speed. All right, cool. So if we come back to the last node and we go out, let's do that. So we can let it simulate for a while, probably up to the end is cool. Because for rigid bodies, some of the stuff need to settle down. So let it go for a while. It's okay. All right, cool. So if you notice, we are having 2 objects showing. You see, if we turn the dot network down, this is what we're going to need. It will complete our closed simulation and also go for rigid body. I hope you guys see that. All right, so let's play one more time. Pay attention. Boom. See? So if I pause it, our old simulation is there. Let's get it this way. You will see how after the crash, it will still have a shake to it. Let's play it one more time. That's about it, guys. Boom. And we get that shake a little bit. We can go crazy to it. Okay, like I was showing you or telling you. Let's go back to the simulator. And under the physics, let's give bounce a little bit. Let's give bounce is 0.5. We can always bring it back there. Bounce, maybe friction, some more, and see how crazy it will be. Okay. And now simulate. See, we got it almost like drift on the side. But let it finish. I think even this one is better. So you can go in and make all these kind of changes to your simulation and pick the one you want. All right. So far, we've been dealing with, see, very cool. So it kind of feels like he was trying to brake. He didn't want to hit the bike. You know, it's a cool bike. So let's see what happened. Boom. See, and then we got some rigid body going on. That's all we need, guys. See, so in our next class, we'll take everything out, and then we will start conversation. But we know that we have to work the same way